Hello, great evening to you. Warm welcome to Prime Business with me, Pius Kojo Baka. Coming up, Associate Professor of Finance at Andrews University, Professor Williams Pripra, is predicting the woes of investors of non-bank financial institutions will worsen if the Bank of Ghana goes ahead to close down their businesses. This follows an announcement by the BOG arguing the liquidity challenges have made it difficult for these non-bank financial institutions to meet financial obligations to their clients and depositors. Speaking to Joy Business on the matter, Professor Pripra urged the regulator to tread cautiously when embarking on the action in order not to affect confidence in the financial sector.
The announcement by the governor, if I listen clearly, is in relation to an existing issue and not for companies or non-financial institutions that are operating now. He used the word legacy issues. So, which means that they were those companies that the non-financial institutions he's talking about are related to those that were classified during the banking cleanup exercise. So, it's going to deepen the woes of investors who had their money with these institutions. Already, these individuals are already hoping that they were going to get paid. But the announcement by the governor saying that these banks faces shutdown is going to be a major challenge for investors. And the ripple effect is that it is going to reduce or diminish the confidence being restored after the IMF coming in the financial sector. So the central bank must operate carefully whatever strategy they want to focus on to address the non-banking financial institutions. If not, Ghanaians will lose confidence in the entire financial industry, not only the non-financial banking system, but also in the main banking system.
A while longer in the financial space, because the Bank of Ghana has announced an increase in the minimum paid-up capital for credit reference bureaus by some significant margin. Now, the directive, which takes effect from November 2023, will, however, give existing credit references bureaus up to January 2025 to meet this new requirement. However, all new and pending applications are required to immediately meet this new requirement. The Bank of Ghana argued that this is to strengthen the credit reporting regime and ensure that they all are well capitalized to invest. There you go with a statement from the Bank of Ghana. He adds that these credit reference bureaus provide credit history on individuals and businesses, a move that has gone a long way to support credit delivery. And to some other stories, the director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Peter Quartey, has expressed fear the first quarter of 2025 will be tough for businesses to thrive due to a possible budget overrun in the 2024 budget. He contends that the 2024 budget doesn't seem to address the worrying issue of overspending. Professor Peter Quartey has been speaking at the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce 2024 National Budget Review Seminar. Speaking at the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce 2024 National Budget Review Seminar, Director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Peter Quartey, said, although Ghana's economy has shown signs of recovery and likely to grow at about 3% by end of 2023, additional incentives for businesses, especially tax reductions, will be a welcome idea.
We've seen in the budget that there's some positive impact, that is support to expand local production. We are told that it will be supported to enhance production, storage and transportation in aquaculture subsector. The fishing industry would also be supported with increased access to premixed fuel through the automated premixed fuel dispensing and monitoring system, as well as the production of fish feed. So this is a good policy. If we're able to follow through, why not? We'll see expansion within the aquaculture industry.
He tells Joy Business, breaking the political business cycle in 2024 is a test case for Ghana because budget deficits and inflation have always been in excess of targets.
as we spent in the 2024, during the 2024 elections, we should be careful that the year 2025 might be a turbulent year, and that should inform our decisions, our actions, and on how we spend, how we manage our finances. We should be able to break from this political business cycle, and particularly 2024 should be a test case, given that we have just come out of a very painful debt exchange program. We have come from a very turbulent economy. Luckily, and good things, the good thing is that we have stabilized now and gradually recovering. So we should deepen that process, which will enhance the recovery process and not go back to our old ways of doing things.
President of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Clement Seyamwaku, appealed to government to do more in creating congenial environment for the private sector.
We are not happy by the way some of the key things that we raised have not been taken care of. That said, with the budget being read, we want the government to also look at a situation where they can give us some space in terms of incentives in some of the key sectors that will grow this economy for the private sector, to borrow at a lower cost, to be able to expand our production and create jobs. And so if it is possible that the central bank, together with the government, can look at those areas and give some tax incentives to the banks to allow the private sector to borrow in those areas, and so that we'll be able to be very competitive and produce and employ people. I think that that's the way to go. We are looking forward for further discussions as to how we can look at some of these things in the mid-year budget.
On his part, partner at accounting and auditing firm KPMG, Michael Boatin, said there must be a tax impact assessment on businesses to inform a much stronger fiscal policy measures.
Those are some of the things, but in terms of what government could have done to cut it, I think there should be an ongoing review of the impact of the current tax regimes on businesses, because I think if the businesses are not there, then there will be nothing else. So we need to make sure that we maintain them. It's quite interesting that if you look at the recent budget, there were a lot of proposals that are actually supposed to revitalize or to support certain business. So let's keep having these ongoing discussions and see what comes up.
The Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry 2024 National Budget Review Seminar was on the theme, the impact of the 2024 National Budget on private sector, businesses and opportunities. For Joy Business, Pius Kujubaka. Let's talk energy, because the sector minister Matthew Opoku-Prempeh says an ongoing 16.8 megawatts rooftop solar project expected to generate about 26 gigawatts of power annually is significant to Ghana's energy mix. The $30 million project by Helios Solar Company of LMI Utilities, a subsidiary of LMI Holdings, started in April this year and is expected to be completed by the first quarter of 2024, will be the largest in Africa and second in the world. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh disclosed this after a visit to the facility at the Tema Free Zones Enclave. There is more in the following reports.
The 16.8 megawatts capacity rooftop project by Helios Solar Company Limited is taking place on the biggest warehousing complex in Ghana, the International Warehouse Company at the Tema Free Zones Enclave. It will be the biggest of its kind in Africa and second in the world. With the off-taker being Enclave Power Company Limited, the $30 million project, financed by the International Finance Corporation, IFC, will produce 26 gigawatt-hour of power annually and is said to be a significant boost to Ghana's energy mix agenda of 2030. Sector Minister Matthew Opoku-Prempeh is happy Helios Solar Company Limited of LMI Utilities has undertaken this vital initiative.
It will contribute significantly to Ghana's renewable energy mix agenda by 2030. We also have our 10% of our energy generation mix coming from solar. So this is going to be a significant part of that. Purely private sector led, Ghanaian led, IFC supported industry, no sovereign guarantees and government guarantees and PCOEs and things to do with the central government. We had to change the policy, or we have to lift the embargo on embedded energy generation to for the private sector to do what they've done. And I'm glad that somebody is taking advantage of policy. And that's the whole point of policy.
Matthew Pukuprempe believes the project will play an important role in training artisans, students, among others, as majority of the workers are Ghanaians.
That will be a demonstration case for students to come and learn, for artisans to acquire the skill of putting up solar. I had a very bitter experience paying $5,000 for these things to be done in my house, and it didn't work. It has shattered my faith. And it is purely because the technical capacity, the technical skill that we need to put up solar and also to maintain solar is now a huge area that we are developing. So this is going to be a plus for the ordinary Ghanaian electrician to retool and reposition him or herself to be able to not only install solar, to be able to also maintain solar facilities. There's a battery backup, there are inverters, and it's going to be powered into the national grid system or the local grid system, all in the area of the utility zone of Enclave Power.
General Manager for LMI Utilities, Engineer Matthew Akate, touches on the impact of the solar project on the country's carbon footprint.
Well, I must say that for Ghana, we are very good when it comes to the energy sector. There are a lot of expertise in the sector. Renewable energy, yes, has started, but utility scale projects like this is not really happening. And we thought that to really make that impact that Ghana needs in terms of its carbon footprint, we need to have very bigger size utility scale projects in order that we have a very good carbon print within our energy generation mix. So this project is the first of its kind in Africa on the single largest rooftop. It is 16.8 megawatts and it's supposed to generate 10,000 tons of CO2 savings if we were to get this energy from thermal sources. And the annual yield in terms of energy per year is 26 gigawatt hours per year. So if you aggregate this into our generation mix, we think that it will really make an impact.
Meanwhile, General Manager of Dutch & Co., which is the engineering, procurement and construction contractors of the project, Herbert Friese, is optimistic of meeting the deadline.
We mobilized to the site some months ago. We're currently 100% of the civil works has been completed. All the mounting structure has been installed. The walkways, in order to provide a safe passageway for all our guys on the roof and all our ladies on the roof, is nearing completion now. And tomorrow, on Friday, we are going to be starting with the solar panel mounting, starting from roof C, which is on your left, all the way down to roof A, by which time we reach that, then the project will be finished on roof level. For the rest, all the material is on site. All the foundation works have been done in order to place the inverters, the MV transformers and the total stations. And the water system that is going to provide water over the entire roof has also been installed. So we're on schedule.
The 16.8 megawatts rooftop solar project is equivalent to 20 football pitches.
Government has been cautioned to be careful in the implementation of the regulation to restrict the importation of what they call strategic products. According to the consumer protection organization CATS International, government must invest in local businesses to improve their capacity to prevent shortage of the products following the implementation. Although Africa Regional Director of CATS International, Apiakusi Adumaku, lauded the move, he indicated that it will also increase prices of goods should there be a mishap. He spoke to Joy Business on the sidelines of the GIZ CATS public-private dialogue on guided trade initiative under the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement.
As a country, we cannot continue to import everything. I don't know to what extent shall we be importing offers, intestines, and what we say in Twi Yemudie. We have so many, better proteins for us than to be importing these offers from abroad. So I think that in some breadth, it is very good. However, we need to also be concerned about the implementation. In 2016, there was this cement restriction on importation of cement into the country, and a committee was set up. A similar committee under this proposed LI. And after the committee had recommended that we don't require any further cement to be imported into the country, the trade minister that time overruled the recommendations of the committee and imported the cement into the country. So we need to be very careful. It's a very good idea, but one key thing also is that we also need to be sure that we have enough install capacity by domestic producers so that once this LI goes into operation, there will not be shortage of these goods, because whenever there are shortages, the prices will go up and consumers will have to pay more. And so everything that they have to do must be backed by data, not political rhetoric.
You're still watching Prime Business. The Ghana Online Drivers Union is calling on government to fix the roads, street lights and traffic lights. According to the union, these are the major challenges affecting the flow of the ride-hailing business, especially at night. Speaking at the driver-led safety summit organized by Bolt Ghana, Deputy General Secretary of the union, George Annan, emphasized how these problems affect the safety of members.
Bolt Ghana has in recent times experienced a series of high-priority incidents, which has led to calls from stakeholders to intensify security awareness and implement strategies to mitigate these risks. Deputy General Secretary of the Ghana Online Drivers Union, George Annan, highlighted some of the challenges government needs to address to help support the business of ride-hailing apps.
The roads. Road safety has a lot. When the government is demanding roadworthiness, meanwhile the roads are bad, deplorable roads. And so one of the areas or sectors we ask government to look at is our road. You have to look at bad roads, potholes have to be fixed. And then street lighting, traffic lights. These are areas that the government should look at. We're also looking at our safety. When it comes to safety, we are being told that it is in our hands. Our safety is in our hands. So we use our instincts, intuition, discretional things. But then, should anything happen and then we press the panic buttons on the app, we should get quick response so that, and then all these are being handled by the government agencies.
In a bid to know the problems faced by their drivers, Bolt Ghana organized the driver-led safety summit. Operations manager for Bolt, Middle Belt, Roland Amewu, outlined some measures taken to protect drivers and further assured that his outfit will continue to listen to and solve issues raised by drivers.
So I mentioned one on rider verification and identity, which we as a business think is a genuine concern. I mean, we are doing that in collaboration with the Ghana Police Service and the necessary regulatory bodies to ensure that we have almost all our riders verified on our app to create some sense of safety, for our drivers. So that is one very topical issue they raised, which we are currently addressing. The other thing is probably with zones that are unsafe for them, right? We have marked areas where we know, per data we received from, drivers as unsafe areas, right, which we have marked on our app. So they have the liberty and the choice to go to such or to decline, orders from such areas. One thing we know is that, at least on the platform, they have places that are marked as unsafe zones, which they do not have to go. I mean, it's discretionary in any ways, but since it is red flagged, it's highly, they don't go to such areas to pick up orders.
The driver-led safety summit was themed Safe for All, Navigating the Future of Ride-Hailing.
Members of Fair Trade Ghana Network are calling on the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Cocoa Board, and traditional leaders of the current 6 cocoa growing regions in Ghana to collaborate in declaring all cocoa growing areas as no-go zones for all forms of mining and other negative environmental practices. Speaking on the sidelines of the Fair Trade Awareness Creation event, President of the network, Florence Blankson, reiterated the threat illegal mining poses to the sustenance of Ghana's cocoa sector as well as other production areas.
The cocoa sector is bedeviled with a lot of issues. Once again, I will say the galamsey is an issue. Felling down of trees is also an issue. In fact, most of the cocoa farmers are even selling their lands because they are not getting much from it. And the galamsey is also polluting the system. Even taking water to the farm is an issue. When we went around, we saw some rivers like tea, so colorful. And these things, they are going to hurt everybody, not just the cocoa farmers. And some developers are also taking over the cocoa farmlands. So it makes it difficult for the cocoa to keep on till future. If we don't take care, in a few years' time, we will have cocoa. You know, Ghana is the second largest cocoa producing, but we could even come to the top, but for some of these reasons. Again, the youth are not going into farming. Most of the cocoa farmers are old, just as the trees are old. We need to get the farmers inculcated into, the youth to be introduced into this cocoa farming so that going forward, we won't get problem with cocoa being extinct in Ghana, finally.
And that's it for Prime Business with me, Pius Kojo Baka Musbang.